your tech needs solved. Call the show at 232-1542. Tech Tuesday with Ryan Schinkel. Live now.
All right, 7:43 at News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Ryan Schinkel joins us for Tech Tuesday. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's life?
Fantastic. How are y'all?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. The throat is feeling better.
It's good.
I have my tea.
Yep.
We're all good to go. What are we talking about this week?
Drones.
Okay, seems kind of scary.
It is very scary.
The first time you and I met to fly drones, or a drone,
Yep.
my first question was, are we going to be arrested for this? And I think a lot of people are scared about that.
Your question was, are we going to be bailed out?
Or is there someone... I said, Sarah has patience this afternoon. Can Ashley come and bail us out?
Yeah, she could have bailed us
And
out.
I figured she could have.
But we didn't need to get bailed out.
Because it's relatively simple to obtain the proper permits.
Yep.
We won't get into it here, but there are a lot of resources where you can find out local laws.
Yeah, it's actually really simple. If you're a hobbyist, if you're just kind of want to tool around and take some pictures, maybe some stuff of your house, or
you just want an aerial view of Youngsville like you like,
right? or of downtown Lafayette, or do videos kind of for home movies, those types of things. It's real simple. You go to FAA.gov, you register. It's like $5 a year. They give you a number. You put it on the inside of your drone, or they call an unmanned aerial system, and you're fine. And so if it goes missing, or you cause a major accident, or you crash into someone's house, then they can find you.
And they know who you are.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the fun part about it, because it seems like it was like on the top of everyone's Christmas list last year.
Yep.
Now it's on birthday lists throughout the year, and they're getting smaller, and the cameras are getting better, which is cool.
Yeah, so they're so much more accessible. So I have a Phantom 3, which is kind of it's not big. It's certainly in the recreational size, but it's a little bit bigger. And then what DJI, who they are really the industry leader in these things, they've come out with a new one called a Spark. And the Spark is literally the same size as the controller for the other one, for the Phantom that I have. And anybody can use this thing. You can launch it from the palm of your hand, and then when it launches, it recognizes your face, and you can control it with gestures. So you move your hand right, left, up, down, it'll follow you.
Wow. Okay.
It's got kind of some little built-in features. So if you wave at it, it goes like 15 feet up and 10 feet back to give you a bigger view. And then you do the old picture frame, like an old movie director in front of your face, and it starts an auto timer, and it'll take a picture of you.
Wow.
So
okay.
This is the one for the masses. You get it for $500. You fly it from your phone. There's nothing real special to learn. It connects to GPS just like the others. So you can't mess it up. Now they can malfunction, but it's relatively simple to do.
I'm still a little bit overwhelmed by it, so we're working on that. But I think we have so many cool areas where, it's not densely populated here. Yes, you could be in densely populated areas, downtown and other places, but you don't have to go very far to find like a nice field that you could fly over to kind of practice, or park space.
So I didn't tell you this. When we were in Orlando, I went golfing with my brother-in-law and some friends, and after the round, I put up the Spark real quick just to kind of get a shot of the golf course, and it disconnected. Now, when it disconnects, it's supposed to just come back to home, to where you took it off from, comes back and lands. Mine never came back. I flew it over some trees, some swampy area. It said GPS error, disconnected, and it was gone.
Wait, it's still gone?
It's gone. But
aliens.
Here's a company, they stand behind their stuff. I emailed DJI, and you can upload your logs and everything, and they said, yep, this is a malfunction. We're sending you a new one. Just like that.
See, that's great.
Wow. Okay, see, now that's customer service.
That's fantastic.
Because you know what I would do? I wouldn't tell my wife it happened.
Oh, no.
I would just say, I don't want to fly it anymore. Like, I don't know. Stop asking me about it. I don't want to fly it anymore.
Well, I had another one within a couple of hours. But I did tell her, which was probably the right thing to do.
But that's awesome.
But that's everybody's greatest fear, is what if this thing flies away from me? What happens? And,
oh, my gosh. I mean, it would keep me up at night. Like, where did it go?
Right.
Because
it lost its signal, and that was it.
But it was a malfunction.
It was just a malfunction.
The company came through. So it's DJI.
DJI.
So they make probably, because they are the industry leader, you could probably get everything from the real simple, consumer model up to the really, fancy.
So they go up to professional grade products that, we don't talk about this, but this is my hobby. For a living, I'm in commercial risk management, and many of my clients are getting into using these for surveying work. Construction companies are using these to do roof inspections, those types of things. Now there you get into a different level where there's some regulations. You have to have a pilot on staff. You have to register these things differently. They cost more to insure. And it has to do with the weight and what you're using them for. Any one of us can take it up and just kind of have fun with one.
I probably heard the coolest use for a drone. You know, my brother does like land clearing, commercial land clearing. And he was out actually helping a church out in Texas, East Texas, who was making one of those mazes, like corn mazes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And so basically the guy handed him a picture and said, like, this is kind of what we're going for. I'll help you along. And you can imagine my brother sitting in, you know, what is an expensive piece of equipment? Like, I'm in a blank cornfield. Like, what do I do with this? The guy said, don't worry about it. I'm going to be on the phone with you. I'm going to be sitting in my truck, and I'm going to guide you using the drone. So he put the drone up where he could just watch where he was and literally used my brother as an Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
It was really cool, and my brother hadn't even thought about that. I mean, just knowing where your property begins and ends, especially when you have, you know, even 20 acres or hundreds of acres, being able to go and look. You know, I know a lot of farmers use them to look at their fence line to make sure that, hey, cows keep getting out. Where is it? Well, it's much easier just to fly something along the fence to see. So there's definitely a technical aspect to it, a professional use for it, just a little bit more regulation.
Well, we have, you know, one of the top engineering and surveying firms in the state, if not in the southeast region here in Lafayette. And it makes sense for companies like those to use these. You imagine bridge inspections, road inspections.
You don't have to hang anyone over the side
right,
of a bridge.
Instead of exposing people to potentially getting injured, you fly a drone that if something goes wrong, you know, what are you out? I mean, maybe $1,000 for some of the kind of mid-range types.
Makes sense. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to come back to catch up more with Tech Tuesday and Ryan Schinkel next on Acadiana's Morning News. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday with Ryan Schinkel, Bernadette Lee, our personal project chick. Here. We're talking about drones today.
You went there. I didn't. You went
You're
there.
the one that's been playing this song for years and never bothered to Google lyrics this thing.
I was listening to intros to songs to get music, and
But I
it's
like
kind of a catchy tune.
All right, so Ryan Schinkel's here with us. Drones around water.
Yeah.
I can imagine that things could get a little bit hairy when, you know, you want a drone, if anything happens to it, to come back to home.
Right.
Well, you could be in a boat, the wind blows, currents move.
Yeah, so when you take these things off, the first thing they do is establish a home point, like I said. So if it disconnects, in theory, it just comes right back to home. So if you want to go do some photography, maybe of your lake house or at the camp, and you say, well, I'm going to go a little offshore to launch this thing to get the perspective from out there, and you take it off and establish the home point, and you're out there maybe 20, 30 minutes flying it, and say, man, it never came back. Where did this thing go? Well, anchor your boat, right? Because if you drift a little bit, the drone will come back to where you launched it, and that's a quick way to put one in the water.
But even so, it's so exact with latitude and longitude. Even if you drift 3 feet, you could be in that.
Yeah, you could be a few feet off because it'll come down, I mean, right where you took it off from. It's
really cool.
It's really, really accurate.
So what did you say? It was FAA.gov has a lot of the information that you could use. But as a hobbyist, you know, there are some kind of rules and regulations. I mean, a lot of it has to do with crowds, right?
Yeah,
they
the
don't want you
basic
flying over
rules,
crowds.
don't put it up over people. You're not supposed to fly it, so don't go to festival and put it up over people unless you have permission from the festival. It's supposed to stay within your line of sight, but, you know, these all have, you hook up your smartphone or they have a screen built into them where you can see everything while you're flying.
Yeah.
So they're really great for videoing those types of events. Just don't go over people's heads, because if that thing comes crashing down and injures someone, you could be responsible for it.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't happen. They hook onto the GPS and they stay where they should. And if you disconnect, typically they'll just hover. Just keep in mind where you take it off from. If you want to go do it at a golf course, don't launch it under a thicket of trees, because if it's going to come back and hover or crash into those trees, I know somebody that happened to, and it's a good way to look kind of silly trying to retrieve it out of the air. But really, it's nothing to be intimidated about, you know, and there are some steps you can take to protect yourself if you are a little bit, maybe you're on the fence and say, well, I'm not real sure, you know, what can I do to be safe? You know, if you're doing it for a business, obviously there are drone insurance products, and it's really cheap for the coverage. And even if you're doing it personally, your homeowner's policy may extend to cover you for the liability of using it. But if not, certainly look into a personal umbrella policy to give you a little more
just in
coverage.
Yeah.
If you are using it and something goes wrong and you damage someone's property, crash into a house, chip up the stucco, that type of thing.
Very interesting. Cool stuff.
It's fascinating.
All right, if it's on your list, you can watch this segment, listen to it, read about it at KPEL965.com just a little bit later on this morning. Ryan Schinkel, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time, as always.
Good to see you all.
7:57 now at News Talk 96.5 KPEL.